One race to go, 21-year-old Corey LaJoie followed up his Chicagoland Speedway victory by taking the checkered flag at Pocono Raceway.
LaJoie wins at Pocono.
LaJoie joins 22-year-old Michigan winner Brendan Poole.
Poole's going to win in Michigan.
And the youngest superspeedway winner in ARCA history, 17-year-old Chase Elliott, as victors this season, making it one of the strongest casts of young talent ever in the ARCA Racing Series. Joining the elite crew, 18-year-old rookie Mason Mingus, who's second in the championship, and a pair of talented 17-year-olds, Austin Wayne Self from Texas and Eric Jones, who hails from Michigan. Now, if you think the kids might run away from the pack tonight here at Berlin Raceway, there's the veteran and the current championship leader, Frank Kimmel, who needs just one more win to become ARCA's all-time victory king. He has 3 Berlin Raceway victories to his credit, but it doesn't matter how much experience you have, because at any moment you could find yourself off-roading. So tonight, will youth be served, or will veterans rule the day here on the NBC Sports Network? It's the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards from Berlin Raceway. And you could not have picked a more beautiful grassroots setting for what could become a very special night in the ARCA Racing Series. There's the man of the hour, or at least the next 2 hours. His name is Frank Kimmel. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin, joined topside by 3-time NASCAR national champion Randy LaJoie. Jim Trado will have our coverage on pit road. Randy, it was just a few days ago at Pocono. Kimmel tried to get that 80th career win, but it didn't quite work out for him, did it?
Well, you know what? A young kid got it, and a young kid happened to be my son, and he's won 2 of them this year. ARCA Series has done Corey a lot of good, as it does a lot of young kids, and we're going to watch that here tonight also.
I know it was a proud moment for you and your family to see Corey go to victory lane. We've got a whole cast of young talent in this series.
Oh, there's going to be probably more than likely a new proud dad tonight, but then again, you can't count out the cat with all the gray hair, that's for sure.
Eric Jones, Mason Mingus, Austin Wayne Self was so impressive when we were at Winchester just a couple of days ago. One of the other stories, of course, tonight here at Berlin Raceway, the very unique layout of this facility, not quite a half a mile and not much banking. Let's get more on the racetrack itself. Downstairs to Jim Trado.
Grassroots ovals like this one here at Berlin Raceway have its own characteristics, all to their own. Much like the drivers, you could say, in the ARCA Racing Series. Each has their own way of doing things. Well, this track, like nowhere else on earth, has unique entry to pit road we need to show you. As we zoom in here, Berlin Raceway is just outside Grand Rapids on the Berlin Fairgrounds. The cars have to whoa down the front stretch and turn hard left at the apex of turns 1 and 2 to come down pit road that splits the center of the racetrack. From there, they split left and right to pit on the right side and left side of pit road. Then they have to rejoin and merge to get back out on the racetrack on the front stretch. No matter, guys, pit stops here are critical at Berlin Raceway to determine the outcome.
Thanks, Jim. Qualifying may be key here as well. The Menards Pole Award presented by Ansel tonight going to Mason Mitchell from West Des Moines, Iowa. New track record of 16.781 seconds in the Core Motorsports Ford. He will lead this field to green in just a couple of moments. Let's take a look at our starting lineup tonight for the 200-lapper here at Berlin Raceway. Mitchell on the pole, and there's that young gun Eric Jones alongside. Kyle Busch kind of took a liking to him, didn't he?
Yes, he did, especially when he beat him. Kyle doesn't like anybody when he beats him, but Eric Jones, a local man, a local boy from up here in Michigan, raced here before. It's going to be fun to watch tonight.
Frank Kimmel, the points leader, will line up 5th. Tom Hessert up there in points, back in the 5th row. Remaining starters, Bobby Gerhardt, many-time winner at Daytona, making a rare short track start tonight.
Yes, you can. And Will Kimmel back there in row 12. He's had some great runs this year.
All right, let's take a look at some other information for you. Our coverage of the ARCA Racing Series on the NBC Sports Network being brought to you tonight by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. By Allegiant. Save with the best travel deals under the sun, only at Allegiant.com. And by Ansel Protective Products. For more than 100 years, the leader in hand protection. Welcome back to Berlin Raceway. We're in Marne, Michigan. The sun just about down now as we prepare for the start of the Berlin Raceway ARCA 200. Alongside Randy LaJoie, I'm Rick Benjamin. Jim Trado with our coverage on pit road and getting set to send 26 ARCA Racing Series stars off for 200 laps of action. Randy LaJoie, as we look at how this event is likely to go tonight, you've got the points leader, Frank Kimmel, with all that history perhaps about to be written tonight, starting back in row number 3. He's got his hands full tonight. And all of these drivers and teams don't have a lot of time to get the job done. Just 88 miles of racing.
Well, you know what? This is a racetrack that is short track Saturday night ARCA style. This is going to be awesome. We got a tricky pit road, tire management, big carburetors, big horsepower, not a lot of grip.
By rule, you've got to make at least one pit stop before lap 190. Now, we were talking earlier, you probably don't need to make a fuel stop, but tires, what you do with your 10 tires you're allotted, that'll be key.
You know what? They got 6 in the pits, and they are worth, when a driver gets tires on, they could be almost 2 seconds faster than the field. We got to watch for green flag pit stops coming up.
All right, tell me about the backside. We saw there in our track facts a moment ago, there's no retaining wall on the backside of this racetrack. Coming off 2, if you hang a wheel back there, you could be in for a wild ride.
Well, yeah, so I didn't mind that if you're on the inside, but if you're on the outside, you hang a wheel, you're going to go for a ride.
Starting lineup, top of your screen. Keep track of where your favorite driver is throughout the course of the evening in the Primera Plastics 200 here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Frank Kimmel, of course, won his 79th career ARCA race a few weeks ago when we were at Winchester Speedway in Indiana. Since then, the series has been to the Triangle and Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania. Kimmel unable to go to victory lane there. He does have a significant lead in the championship, 205 points over the 32, the Wintron entry. That's Mason Mingus from Brentwood, Tennessee, who lines up inside row number 2 here tonight. You've got a really interesting group of drivers up front. You've got Mason Mitchell, who's a young gun, Eric Jones, age 17, Mingus and Justin Boston, young guys, and then you've got the 51-year-old champion, Frank Kimmel, in the Ansel Menards Toyota. There's the front row, your new track record holder in that 82 car, Mitchell from West Des Moines, Iowa. That's the Core Racing Happy Cheeks Ford. And on the outside, one of the Venturini Motorsports entries. They've got 4 cars in the field tonight for Eric Jones, and we talked a little about him earlier. He battled Kyle Busch to the line in the Snowball Derby this past year, and Kyle said, hey, that kid did a great job.
That's it, and he had 500 horsepower, now he has 800. Let's see how he does.
Green flag is in the air. We're glad to have you with us on the NBC Sports Network. We're underway at Berlin, and it's Mitchell grabbing the early lead in turn 1.
He's going to just get that thing nice and smooth. It's a big rhythm racetrack. You have to get a good rhythm, easy on the throttle, easy off the throttle, just touch the brake. But it's a large, large rhythm racetrack.
Eric Jones in the white 15 running second. Third spot belongs to the Wintron 32, the Dial 811 car of Mason Mingus. Justin Boston in the 25, this Loop car out of the Venturini stables. And then the 55, we haven't talked much yet about Clint King, but he's another young gun in the Venturini stable. His first start of the season. A lot is expected of him. Kimmel, the points leader in the Ansel Menards 44, settling into 6th. And a challenge. Lap traffic already a factor. The 3 drops out. You've got a battle for second. Mingus on the inside trying to take it away.
A lot of racetrack here to work with. I think that's one of the things that's going to be great about this. A lot of racetrack. We can go 2 wide. We can go 3 wide.
Meantime, Mason Mitchell in the Core Racing 82 as Brad Smith pulls off the racetrack as well. Mitchell off to a great start tonight. He's opened up about an 8-car length advantage. Take a look at what's going on the backside. That's Mingus in the Wintron entry. This battle for position between the 15 and the 25. That is for 3rd position right now. The 25 of Boston trying to get the drop on his teammate Eric Jones in the 15.
Yeah, both Venturini cars, and I think Eric on the outside is just saying, you know what, I want to get into a rhythm. I don't want to make my right rear tire mad, and that's one thing you can do here.
Frank Kimmel makes a move, gets by the 55 of Clint King to pick up a position, get back into 5th. Lap traffic already starting to be a factor here. Mingus in the 32 runs in 2nd spot. That's the black and yellow car, the Dial 811 machine. The white Venturini cars, the 15 and the 25 next in line. Your leader here in the 82, Mason Mitchell from West Des Moines, Iowa. Drove for the Rouleau brothers earlier in the season, has moved over to the Core team now.
And had a good run here last year, so he knows what it needs. Well, you know, sometimes you're looking out here, I'm thinking, wow, I think he's going to take the good off the tires in a hurry.
79 times the 44 car and its driver. Frank Kimmel had been to victory lane. Kimmel, and not necessarily in that particular race car, but 79 career victories, tied for the all-time lead, 9 championships. He's the points leader now with a handful of ARCA Racing Series events to go in the 2013 season, trying to hold off King in the 55. This would battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th right now. Everybody nose to tail off turn 4.
Everybody's just feeling out the race cars now. Earlier today, I asked all the drivers what the nickname was for Frank. One word, champ.
Good way to be known. You've been a champion 3 times in your storied career as well. The 97 up high will go a lap down here. Meantime, everybody chasing Mason Mitchell in the 82. He has led all the way so far. About to put 10 laps on the board tonight here at Berlin Raceway. Randy, you got a ride around this place at a pace in one of the pace vehicles earlier. You told me that you've driven a lot of racetracks coast to coast. This unique because it's kind of a circle. You really never turn the wheel very much, right?
Here we are, we're coming. Frank just got by the 55. You know, once you get the start-finish line, you put the wheel in it, and you don't really move it a lot. There's a little straightaway in 3 and 4. It's hard to see, but you know what? The 82 car's got it figured out right now, but the 32 is coming.
Mason Mitchell lapping by the 48 of James Harvey Hilton at age 79. his farewell tour, he says, in ARCA Series action. He'll run his last race at Madison, Wisconsin in a couple of weeks. We'll have our NBC Sports Network cameras there for that one as well. The 82 car Mitchell has led all the way so far, working lap number 12 of the Primera Plastics 200. Running order, top of your screen. Mason Mingus runs second in the 32. Third spot belongs to Eric Jones, who started on the outside pole in the 15. We watched that Happy Cheeks Ford just laying down some great laps. He was able to open up a sizable lead early. Now Mason Mingus there in the 32, who runs second, to chop that lead down just a little bit.
Yes, they are. It started at 2 seconds, and now it's under a second. So second, third, fourth, and fifth, they got back into their rhythm, got themselves comfortable, they got the belts tight, and they're going to run down the 82, I do believe.
Now, of course, these are Hoosier radial tires, short track radials. How low do you start tire pressures here?
Well, we did see a lot of crinkle walls on the left side. That's one thing. I think the minimums were 16 on the left on the Hoosier track.
Frank Kimmel in the 44, the Ansel Menards machine, working on the 25 of Justin Boston. Battle for fourth. Kimmel settling in there. Everybody running nose to tail at the moment in the early going here at Berlin Raceway. Kimmel takes a peek to the bottom. Now, coming off turn 4, you do really want to get down on the apron there. And Kimmel, I think, had a thought of maybe trying to get by Boston with that move.
I talked to Frank earlier, and he goes, you know what? I'm a bottom feeder. They should call me a catfish. And second's getting really close here with the 15. He's digging up on there.
Eric Jones running third now, trying to take that white 15 car from Bill Venturini's team around Mason Mingus in the 32. Pick up second. Lap traffic a factor. James Hilton goes another lap down. Mingus in the 32 hanging out of that position. Jones putting lots of pressure on him as they try to stay close to race leader Mason Mitchell, who's caught lap traffic now. Closing in on Milcaduno in the 35 car. That's the 82 of Mitchell. He is your leader. 18 laps are on the board. Right back at Berlin. Welcome back to Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan with Randy LaJoie. I'm Rick Benjamin. Battle up front. Mason Mingus in that black 32 car starting to track down Mason Mitchell from Iowa. He's led all the way so far as we work toward 20 laps tonight here at Berlin.
That Wintron car that's running second. Previous winner here a couple years ago. As fast as that 82 jumped out there, you know, either he didn't have low enough air pressures, but he squirted out to about a 2-second lead, and I think the 32 is going to eat him up here.
While we were in break, Frank Kimmel moved the Ansel Menards 44 car into fourth, got around Justin Boston, so Kimmel certainly on pace to do very well here tonight. Your leader is Mitchell. Second spot is Mingus in the 32. Third is young Eric Jones in the 15. Kimmel right there in fourth. Early in the going here, everybody played it kind of conservatively here at a moment. Lap traffic very much a factor at Berlin so far tonight.
Well, early on, the 82 has got the new Ford FR9 engine that's detuned about 100 horsepower. The 32 car has a Toyota that's detuned a little bit. You know what? That surprises me that Jones got here with an open Toyota motor.
Wow.
It's a Joe Gibbs motor, and it's all under his foot, so he's going to have to control that.
Thomas Prater in the 2 going a lap down to those leaders. Kimmel, meantime, takes the opportunity to get up alongside as we watch Mingus in the 32 lap the 2 car. The 15 right behind him. Darrell Basham in the 34 drop into the bottom of the racetrack as well to get out of the way of Mason Mitchell. So the leader's able to navigate that lap traffic. No change in position among the top 5 cars. Off of turn 2, the 82 of Mitchell. Now we'll see what Mingus can do here. Mingus has had a beat on the leader a couple of different times, and a lap car has kind of balked his effort.
Well, that's one thing. When you get to the lap cars, as much fun as it is passing cars, lap cars could be really take your patience away, and we're seeing that. The guys are using patience driving around these lap cars.
So Mitchell continues to lead. Mason Mingus runs second. Eric Jones and Frank Kimmel, your top 4. Fifth spot belongs to Justin Boston. Then you've got Clint King in one of the Venturini cars, the 55. Austin Wayne Self in the 22, one of Clayton Cunningham's Dodges. He put on a great show for us at Winchester a few weeks ago. He sits back in the 7th spot as we watch the battle for second and third and fourth spot. That's Jones in the 15 now. Kimmel in the 44, and Eric Jones will take a look to the outside of Mason Mingus coming to the front straightaway.
You know what? When I went around here, the pace car driver, Jack, says, hey, you know what? The outside's the way to go. You can get them. You can hold them down. You're going to pass everybody. And here comes Jones.
Eric Jones and Bill Venturini's 15 car on the high side now, taking a look at the leader up ahead. Mason Mitchell in the 82 has got the point. He's held it all the way so far as we close in on 30 laps tonight here at Berlin Raceway. Mingus in the 32 takes advantage of the lap car, the 97. Pulls back into second, but that opens the door for Eric Jones. Jones trying to dive bomb him into turn 3 and take second away.
Couldn't use the outside, so now he's going to the inside.
Eric Jones goes all the way down in turn 4 below the yellow line. Gets a run on him down in turn 1. This is for second spot at Berlin.
Well, you know what? The guy on the outside just put the door number right on the guy's right front, and it's good. We're going to see side by side here, and this is awesome.
Mingus, Jones, and Kimmel, second, third, and fourth. The fifth place car. Justin Boston right there as well. Jones able to close the door on Kimmel. Top four continue to be single file chasing Mason Mitchell, who's led all the way so far. Mitchell's got his hands full, though. Now, Mingus has gotten to him a couple of times. Catching somebody and passing them, not always the same thing.
No, not at all. But there are two grooves. We've seen that already here. So once you get to the guys, they're going to jump to the outside, lap traffic. You know, the guys are using them as picks and stuff like that.
Mason Mitchell opens back up a 3-car length advantage on the backside here at Berlin Raceway. Mingus in the Wintron entry in second spot. Third is Jones. Fourth is Kimmel. Fifth is Justin Boston. They are laying down some very quick laps here and really making hay on the slower traffic tonight.
Well, we're going to see if this thing goes green for a long time, probably about 85 laps. Guys are going to come in and start short pitting, and then it's going to be really fun to watch.
Lapping by the 35, the Milka Way entry. That's Milka Duno from Caracas, Venezuela. As Mitchell powers by her on the front side. 32 laps on the board of 200 tonight. Now, Randy, if you were calling this race for your son Corey, for example, and you knew you had 6 tires to use and fuel wasn't an issue, when would you start thinking about a green flag pit stop? Pretty early for that right now.
Yeah, probably in the area about 85, 90 laps. We've seen Chase Elliott do it last year here. And he just come and he set the standard. He come out, made up 2 laps, and then everybody else started doing it too.
Jim Trado, what do you think on strategy as we watch this fight for second?
Well, the matter of looking at 1 year ago, guys, it went 160-some laps without a first caution appearing. So these teams are all wondering, what do I need to do? Frank Kimmel stayed out that long to pit, but he also knew that he was behind the 8 ball. The race leader that won the race was Chris Buescher, not in this race, but he pitted during the green flag stop. So that is indeed on the minds of these drivers as Frank Kimmel makes the move on the inside of turn 3.
For third spot, they rub fenders. Mingus goes around in the dial 811 machine. Kimmel leaned on him. We stay green for the moment. Mingus gets pointed in the right direction, but the caution will wave for the first time tonight here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. 41 laps complete of 200. Kimmel and Mingus fighting for third. Now, just prior to that, we had seen Eric Jones get around both of them and take over second behind Mason Mitchell. Mingus comes around. He looks like, well, I see a few sparks and some gravel maybe out from under the undercarriage of the 811 call before you dig machine. One more look at it.
Well, the 2 guys were going for the same real estate. 32 wanted to pinch them down to jam them, and Frank's like, hey, you got to give me a lane, you know, which you do at 44 laps into a run.
Here it is again, a little slower down the back straightaway into 3. You can see Kimmel drawing a beat there on the 32.
Loose.
Yeah.
If you've seen his left front tire, he got in the corner, got loose. He had to correct, and that's when he got into the 32 just a little bit.
Mason Mingus doing a nice job of driving the 32 car to keep it off the wall there, keep it running and get it pointed in the right direction. We'll see where they sort out for the restart. First caution of the night here at Berlin Raceway. 41 laps complete. Mason Mitchell has led all the way so far. Jones now is second ahead of Boston. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Benjamin. Randy LaJoie is alongside, and Jim Trado with our coverage on pit road. Under caution for the first time tonight for a tangle between a couple of the top 5 cars. Series points leader Frank Kimmel in the Ansel Menards 44. Mason Mingus in the 32 as they were fighting for third spot.
Well, you know what? We got Frank on the radio. We could go ask him what happened.
There you go. Randy LaJoie working with the radio here to talk to the 9-time series
Frank
champion.
Kimmel, Randy LaJoie. We just seen the first caution come out. You guys run out of real estate down there going into 3.
A little tight down there, Randy. I don't know if you didn't know I was under there or what, but he just kind of turned left on me, and I didn't get out of it quick enough.
Good deal. Just have a good ride, man. You're doing great.
You don't get to be a 79-time race winner in this very tough stock car series without being willing to trade paint occasion.
Watch his left front tire on his replay. He went down in there, and he got touched right there. Left front, see it turn left and then turn right. And you know what? These cars are so critical. You could almost push the guy sideways if you stuck your arm out the window. You know, that's how close these cars are on the edge.
If he was unloaded going into the corner on that left front side, it would be easy to upset the car. No question about it. And that was diving down into turn 3 where you're coming up off a guard. This is one of those racetracks where you're kind of coming uphill off of 2 and downhill back into 3. Right?
This is a weird old racetrack. and you know, this is going to be interesting. The lap cars are going to slow cars on the inside.
Makes it lots of fun. Single file restart for the fast cars up front. Mitchell in the 82 brings him to green, and we are back underway. The 15 of Eric Jones running in second spot. Justin Boston in the 25 restarting third. Kimmel restarts fourth in the 44. And for the lead now, Jones putting plenty of pressure on Mitchell.
There's a whole grandstand standing up for the local boy here. And I think the 15's might take a lead here.
Eric Jones at age 17 resides about an hour and a half from here in the state of Michigan. Mason Mitchell from Iowa. Good battle for the lead here at Berlin Raceway as we close in on 50 complete tonight.
I do believe the 15's definitely going to run by him. Might take him 3-4 laps, but there again, he's the only one without a restrictor plate.
Only took him one straightaway that time around.
Well, that's a good thing.
Eric Jones able to use the bottom there to out-drag Mitchell and take the top spot away. Mitchell has to settle back into second. Now, if you're Mason Mitchell and you've led all the way, you set the track record, you've been out there, is it a matter of letting your tires cool, being a little bit patient, getting a run at him later on?
Experience. That's all he's doing. He's logging. He's a sponge. He's soaking it all in. He's like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have gone the first 20 laps as hard as I did.
Meantime, Frank Kimmel taking advantage of things. He was able to restart back toward the front off that exchange. The 32 of Mingus restarted in the top 10. He's shown 7th right now. Clint King in the 55 trying to hold Mingus back. That's a battle for position. That's for 6th and 7th over in turn 2.
All these guys are working pretty hard. You watch your watch your hands through the windshields, and these guys are working, especially coming out of 4 here.
Eric Jones in the 15 car, and here's Mingus to the bottom. He'll get underneath Clint King's ride and pick up a spot. So Mingus now, who's definitely got the bit in his teeth, he'd like to nothing more than to get back up into contention and take a run at Frank Kimmel again.
Well, at least to the yellow car. He wants to go say hi to Frank.
Wants to make a statement maybe here.
Well,
later, huh?
he might. I don't think he'll turn him around, but if he can get to him, I do believe Frank's just kind of about 80% right now.
Kimmel in the 44, the Ansel Menards Toyota, the Thorsport entry in 4th spot. He's trying to check down Justin Boston there in the Zaloop 25, one of the Venturini cars. They battle it out for 3rd. 2nd spot belongs to the blue 82, track record holder Mason Mitchell. Here's Kimmel trying to work the bottom now on Boston.
You know, he's been getting that bottom. He's way below the yellow line in 1 and 2. In 3 and 4, we're going to start seeing guys running up a little bit, I think, once the tires get warm.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th in play here at Berlin. Kimmel up alongside Boston. That's for 3rd spot. And Kimmel takes the measure of Boston, uses the 97 as a pick perhaps to force Boston out of the groove just a little bit. All of that allowing the 22 of Austin Wayne Self to get into the mix. He's up to 5th now in the Cunningham Dodge, the 22.
That's a great team. 22-77, Tom Hessert. They do a great job with the Cunningham. Paul Andrews is a crew chief. His son works on them. They have an awesome ARCA team.
25 of Boston in 4th. Self is 5th out of Austin, Texas in that Dodge. Coming up on Darrell Basham in the 34 from Indiana, veteran ARCA campaigner. He'll go a lap down to the leaders. Jim Trado, how do things look from your vantage point?
Just checking in and monitoring the radio on the number 25 of Justin Boston's machine. He thought before the race he had the best car in race trim. Right now his crew chief Billy Venturini said turn the right front fan on. Randy LaJoie, what does that do to that car running in the top 5 right now? And they say turn the right front fans on. What does it do to the handling of that car?
Well, it's cooling the right front tire off. All these cars, as we got a battle for the lead, the 15's going back, the 82's going back into 15.
Good battle over in turn number 3 as we watch the fight on the backstretch between the 22 and the 25. They make it to the front side by side for the lead in turn 1. You've got your hands full. Kimmel right there as well. Eric Jones, Mason Mitchell, and Kimmel. 3 cars chasing each other for the top spot here at Berlin.
It might be a 3-wide battle here. 44 is going to go 3 wide, but the fans, each of these cars have 2 or 3 fans on all tires. And what they do, you turn your fan on the right front, it cools it off. It makes your car not as tight. You can cool the right rear tire off. So that you see guys do it all the time with dashboard fans. But,
Kimmel to 2nd spot in the 44, getting by Mitchell in the 82 car. So Frank Kimmel in the Ansel Menards Toyota picks up another position as he tries to charge toward victory. If Kimmel can get to victory lane here tonight, it would be his 80th career win in the ARCA Racing Series, an all-time record. He is tied with the legendary Iggy Katona. Iggy long since passed from the racing scene, but remembered in the record books, 79 wins, 6 ARCA Series championships. Frank has 9, so he is the leader there. But the all-time win leadership is at stake tonight for Frank Kimmel as he rolls into 2nd spot now with 56 laps on the board.
And as a short track guy, you know what? There's nobody better in this business than Frank Kimmel for saving his car, saving his tires. And as you see it here, he's slowly reeling into 15.
Jones is your leader in the 15. They lap by Milcaduno one more time. Kimmel right there in 2nd. 3rd spot belongs to Mason Mitchell as he gets by Milka on the outside of the 35 car. Kimmel starting to look to the bottom now, drawing a bead on Eric Jones. You've got a 17-year-old racing a 51-year-old 9-time series champion. is this a case of Eric Jones just being fearless at this stage and having all the bravado of a teenager? Or is it a case of Kimmel being the cagey veteran, knowing what he needs to do to make the move here?
Maybe a little bit of both. I mean, as good as Eric Jones is, he's been racing big cars for 5, 6, 7 years now, winning in big cars. So he's sitting there. Yes, he's been here one time with an ARCA car, but he's been here a bunch with 500 horsepower. Now he's got 800.
And managing the horsepower and the tires, a big part of the game here tonight at Berlin Raceway in Martin, Michigan. The ARCA Racing Series will return the Berlin ARCA 200. Your leader is Eric Jones. We'll be right back. Back in Martin, Michigan, the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. The Berlin ARCA 200 tonight. 62 laps are complete. We've had some great fights at the front of the field. Eric Jones is now your leader in the 15 car. The Ansel Menards 44. Frank Kimmel running in second spot. Third belongs to the early leader, Mason Mitchell, in the Happy Cheeks 82. Lap traffic definitely a factor here as the leaders pick their way by. That's the 18 of Bill Catania, the NC Parts entry out of New York State. Catania going a lap down to the leaders as Kimmel continues to reel in the 15 of Jones.
Yeah, I look at the top 5, and I think Frank in second could add up all those other guys' names. I'd still be older than all of them.
Well, wait a minute now. He's not that old. Makes it sound like he's 100. He's 51.
Well, no, kids are young.
Oh, well,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
There you go. All right. So Eric Jones, who's age 17, has the race lead in that 15 car right now. Jones doing a great job with 63 laps on the board. They'll lap by the 97 one more time. That's Roger Carter from Sunfield, Michigan, the Pure Michigan Dodge. Kimmel, who started 5th tonight, didn't take him long to work his way into contention. And Randy, you did this for a long time at a very high level. Your 2 NASCAR Busch Series championships, your NASCAR North Championship before that. The game, the way the game is played is as much a part of short track racing as just being fast behind the wheel, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and that's what we're going to see today. Are these guys going to start pitting close to their lap 100? Are they going to wait for cautions? That's the game we play. Years ago, we never played any games. We just run until we had nothing, then we'd come in.
Yeah. In this situation, we're talking about you have 6 tires left. You've got enough. As we watch Justin Boston, he'll go by Thomas Prater in the 2 to put him another lap down. Right behind him is Self in the 22. They continue their fight for 4th and 5th here as we take a look at the 44 of Kimmel and the 82 of early leader Mitchell. That is for 2nd. Here's that battle again for 4th and 5th between Justin Boston and that white 25 and the black 22 of Self. You've got 6 tires left. Do you roll the dice if you're giving up track position to the leader and say, okay, I'm going to stop now and take 2, try to get that back under green, or do you wait? Do you patiently wait it out and look for another caution?
I never was a big strategy kid. You know what? That's what the crew chiefs get paid for.
Right.
I just drove every lap. You cannot, as a driver, you cannot sit behind the wheel running 18-second laps and try to do strategy. We're not all Alan Quickie. Alan Quickie used to do that. Yeah. There ain't many guys that can do that.
Strategy here, try to be fast. Oh, trouble in turn 4. The 40 goes around. He's several laps down, and the caution will waive for the 2nd time again. Maybe he got a little help there. What do you think?
Yeah, he did. It looked like the 15, said, hey, let's get going here, and he got into the back of him just a tick.
Eric Jones telling Justin Lloyd maybe it's time to move that car out of the groove. So Eric Jones will continue as the leader in the SRI 15 tonight. Jones doing a nice job. Here's another look at it as they come through 3 and 4. The 40 on the outside.
Spun all by himself.
Yeah. Now, at this racetrack, looked up in the mirror and his eyes got big, right?
He said, wow, that's all right. I got to go.
Now, we talk about this on bigger racetracks. Is that a case of taking the air off the rear spoiler? Or
no, not even close. No, he just jumped in the throttle and then just spun himself out.
And that does happen sometimes. And that's a young driver, too, Justin Lloyd. Not a lot of experience with an 800 horsepower race car. So that's certainly one of the things that you can see happen. Now, remember, we talked about this at the top of the show. Jim Trano telling us about the unique layout of pit road. You enter over between turns 1 and 2. You can pit on either side. It's kind of like Main Street in a small town.
Yes, it is.
Pit stalls on both sides. You exit between, at the exit at turn 4, you have to turn hard left to come out of the pit road onto the front straightaway. So when you decide to do this, you've got to be not just quick on a pit road, safe on the pit road, knock off a great pit stop, but you got to have your wits about you because it's rush hour.
Totally different. Yeah, it's totally different than your normal. This is not a normal pit road. Usually you come in off of turn 4, you go out in turn 1. So you have to pay attention.
71 laps are on the board. Pit road is open this time by. Is this a case of I'll do whatever the leader does? Does Eric Jones make the decision?
I think he will. I think I hear air guns going off. I don't know if Jim's up and ready, but the guys ready down there?
Jim Trano, what are you seeing? Are teams ready to jump the wall and start putting tires on?
It's going to be a yard sale of pit stops down here on pit road. We mentioned uniqueness of coming down pit road. A little dimly lit on the entry. They pit on both the left side and the right-hand side of pit road. Eric Jones has been reminded, come down pit road carefully now. He's got a pit on the right-hand side. Frank Kimmel, based upon points, got the first pit stall on the left-hand side. Jones will put 2 right-side tires in his number 15 machine. Behind him is teammate, the 25 of Justin Boston. Frank Kimmel now with 2 right-side tires. They only get 6 tires all day. 2 right sides for Eric Jones. He'll beat all comers on pit road. Justin Boston in the 25 will pick up 1 spot, 2 spots on pit road, as he'll come out second ahead of Frank Kimmel.
Wow, so Kimmel and the ThorSport team, a great crew and a great team, but they give up some ground on pit road.
Well, that's one of the things, you know, with this pit road, that's why they're all stopped on the infield, because they could have made up a lap right there.
Sure.
So you got to wait for the pace car to go by, and it's going to be interesting. It looked like there was a couple miscues on the 15. They were going to the left side of the car, and they came back to the right side.
So those cars that pitted, those are the lead lap cars. They will come back onto the racetrack. The cars a lap or more down will get their opportunity to hit pit road next. We talked briefly at the top of the show. Tom Hessert the third in the 77, the other Cunningham Dodge, didn't qualify very well. Qualified in the top 10. He's third in points. Struggling here. A lap down at the moment. We'll see if he can pick up some ground with that tire change that's coming to the 77. Maybe that gives Tom Hessert an opportunity.
And they're going to adjust that car. You know, that car is sponsored from the car dealership out of Philly. So Tom's done a great job this year, but the short track program, the 77 car, Parker Kligerman's been in this thing. And Tom's done well, but you know what? They're adjusting. I see wrench in the back of that car. They're tuning her up.
Jim Trano, what are you seeing down at pit road?
Randy, I see 4 rounds up on the 77. Now they put 1 back in it in Tom Hessert's car. He went a lap down about 4 laps ago, but really their day was not going well in the Barbera's Auto World number 77. They made wholesale changes right before qualifying, and it was obvious his track speed was not there in that green flag stint the first 70 laps. He got lapped about lap 65. He's thankful this caution came when it did, because Hessert could do better than this. He's third in the national point standings here in the series. He was thankful for the caution, but again, that car was off pace. The wholesale changes by E and his crew chief Paul Andrews just weren't clicking with that team. Is their setup any closer to Austin Wayne Self, their teammate in the 22? Not as close as you think. They're just trying to get Tom comfortable with the setup they have, with all those changes they threw at it. After qualifying, it was impound. So they really made that guess. Now they're able to make that first change here under caution on lap 73 in the 77 car.
All right, we'll see how that works out for Tom Hessert the third in the 77. Now take a look at this. Bobby Gerhardt and the Lucas Oil 5. We haven't talked about Bobby just momentarily at the top of the show. A guy who is dynamite on the big racetracks.
Yes, he is.
With a short track background from Pennsylvania. He's playing a different game. He didn't stop. He's going for track position. He'll be the restart leader.
He's going to get run over. You better look out. They're going to be passing him on both sides.
So Bobby Gerhardt out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania. We'll have the restart pole when we get set to go green here, coming up on 75 of 200 laps complete tonight. Gerhardt will take him to green in just a couple of moments. Jones will line up in the second spot. There'll be some lap cars up there as well. We'll come back for the green here at Berlin Raceway in a moment. Pace car has the lights out over on the backside here at Berlin Raceway. The Berlin ARCA 200 presented by Menards. Berlin Raceway, Marne, Michigan. ARCA has been racing here for, oh gosh, I think this is the 26th time the series has been here. Great racetrack, great facility, very modern facility for a short track, and the home to some great weekly racing that we got a taste of a little earlier tonight as well. Gerhardt in the black 5 is the restart leader. Lead lap cars on the outside. Jones, who had been the leader in the 15, now he has pitted for 2 tires, as has Boston in the 25. Kimmel in the 44. Green flag back in the air, working lap number 76 tonight.
Didn't take long. That 15 is going to drive right on by, and I believe most of the field will be doing the same thing.
Bobby Gerhardt just not up to pace tonight in the 5 car, and a guy with a short track background. Disappointing for him, I'm sure, to see that his car just doesn't have the speed at this moment. Eric Jones, meantime, cashing in big. Gerhardt kind of holding up the rest of the field. Jones says, all right, thanks, boys. Let's build a nice lead here.
Well, I just seen Frank give the old 25 a shot. You better keep those fenders on that car, because they tell you need them, but I'm not quite sure this place you will.
Justin Boston in the 25 second. Gerhardt hanging in there. Oh, contact between Mingus and the 44 of Kimmel. Mason Mingus, who got turned around by Kimmel earlier and brought out the first caution of the night, right back at it, wedges his way under the 44 as they fight for third.
Frank says, I'm just going to use this 5 car as a pick. And 32 tried to sneak in there. Frank better get going because that 32 is going to be coming.
That's what a couple of decades of experience will do for you, though, right? Be patient. Use what's around you for help and make your point as a veteran driver.
And now he's going to have to say, okay, I got to go because I got somebody in my back bumper that wants to take it.
Eric Jones, meantime, taking advantage of this to add to his lead over in turn 1. There's the second and third place battle. Justin Boston in the Zloop 25 out of the Venturini stables has the second spot. Kimmel in the 44 runs in third. Here's the 55 of Clint King now trying to wedge his way inside Gerhardt's machine. That is a fight for 6th position. Gerhardt unable to put up much of a battle there because, again, he did not pit. He elected to take the restart lead but had not pitted at this point. Right behind him, the 22 of Austin Wayne Self. There's the 82 of Mitchell running in 5th position. 55 is Clint King. 22 is Self. Right behind them, the 23 car doing a nice job tonight. That's Spencer Gallagher and the Allegiant Air Chevrolet. Up front, meantime, the 15 of Eric Jones continuing to set the pace. His teammate Justin Boston runs second. Frank Kimmel is third. Mason Mingus fourth. And Mason Mitchell in the 82, the pole sitter and the early leader, sits in 5th position now. Half a second separating the top 2 cars.
A lot of times when you put 2 tires on your car, it helps. A lot of times it doesn't help. So that's one of the things. It looks like some of these guys are going good. I see a little light on the 15 car up underneath the fender. I'm not sure we could see that. But down the backstretch, I see something that doesn't look normal on the 15 car right behind the left front tire.
Keep an eye on that. Now, this is, of course, a short track, but this is not like a Martinsville where you would start burning up right front brakes, I wouldn't think.
No, you should.
I see something. You're exactly right. Something's on fire under there.
Yep.
Could be trouble for Eric Jones, the race leader. We can see something apparently on fire under the left front wheel. Now, would that be a brake duct, perhaps? Something like that?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes you pick up rubber.
Man.
You know, the rubber gets caught on fire. Yes, it is.
Now, you would think Jones would be able to see that. These cars, the cockpits, the interiors of these cars are sealed off very well, unlike race cars of older years. Yes. But you'd start to feel that in your feet, if nothing else.
Well, I mean, to me, it looks like it's gone. Maybe Jim can see it a little better from the infield.
Jim Trado, what do you think?
No word on the radio, guys, but again, it looked like maybe it was just a ball of rubber caught on the header. It's now extinguished. No worries for the leader, the 15 car. Nothing was said on the radio, nothing about temperature, so indeed that might have just been a little ball of rubber burning off on the engine from the left front window fender well, guys.
Yeah, you know what? And as a driver, you smell that rubber, and you're like, uh-oh, something. I got a tire going down. I got this. You start to panic as a driver, but then all of a sudden, it goes away, and you're like, oh, I'm good.
And that's all you need sometimes, is that opportunity. So Eric Jones cashes in and starts to add to the lead. The 18 of Catania going another lap down. Here's Kimmel taking another look for second spot at Justin Boston, trying to use the lap car of Catania to get some help. Meantime, Jones continues to add to the advantage. He's opened up a 1.6-second advantage here at Berlin Raceway. We're not too far away from the halfway point.
That's one of the things you see him, the 15, just skitching the ground. A lot of guys, they work on these setups to get these cars just sealed to the earth. And they're probably faster speeds now than they qualified, probably.
Well, you burned off some fuel.
Yep.
You've certainly got your tire pressures where you want them at this point. And you probably started to figure out a better line around the racetrack.
Yeah, I haven't seen any guys move up. Usually the quickest way is usually right around the bottom. And these guys, they might make the infield a little bigger here pretty soon.
Second, third, and fourth here. Justin Boston in the 25, the Zloop machine. Third spot belongs to Frank Kimmel. That's the yellow 44, the Ansel Menards entry. Fourth is Mason Mingus in the Wintron 811 dial before you dig car, the 32. And then you've got Mason Mitchell from Iowa in the 82, the pole sitter. That's the blue car, the Happy Cheeks Ford back there. Top 5 running nose to tail. Not as tightly bunched as they were. Best battle might be this one for fourth between Mingus in the 32, Mitchell in the 82. Now remember, Mingus had gotten back into Kimmel several laps ago. And Kimmel's able to open that back up now. He's got several car lengths over Mason Mingus.
These two kids are really learning throttle control right now. They're on the throttle. You roll off easy. You get back in it easy. I don't believe these guys are probably going to get wide open later in the run. So you might just barely get there and then like, oh, I got to lift.
In a situation like this, when there's no lap traffic around you, are you using much brake in a place like this?
Probably not. You're just rolling off the throttle. You may be going into 3 because you carry a lot of speed. Just a little bit. Sometimes you have to keep the nose of the car settled down, so you just kind of trail brake just a little bit.
Fighting it out here for fourth. Mason Mingus in the 32 and the 82. Got a spin over in turn 2, and the caution will wave as we watch this battle for third, fourth, and fifth. But caution again for the third time tonight. The car went around over in the second quarter, was able to get refired and continue on his way. Looks like it might have been the 5 of Bobby Gerhardt.
Yeah, somebody run over him. It looked like that's what happens when everybody has tires and you don't. It is so hard to go backwards.
Yeah.
You know, because you get run over. And
your inclination as a driver is to stay in the gas. Try to not get past it.
Yep.
And, of course, when you've got older tires in a place like this that honestly hasn't been repaved in a long time, not a lot of grip in this asphalt. It's probably pretty rough out there.
It's awesome. That's
what you want.
Yes,
yeah.
you do.
But the grip goes away fairly quick.
Oh, absolutely. After about 10 laps, they tell me. But, I said Bobby was on a different cycle. He's going to be good now because, he'll be able to come in and put tires on. And now he'll probably drive back up to the top 10.
Yeah, maybe he takes 4 here. We're just about halfway. You've got 6 more to work with. The strategy for the leaders earlier, take 2 tires, save the 4 pack of tires, so to speak, for a later pit stop. Jim Trado, we're watching Bobby Gerhardt lap this racetrack here under caution. Is he headed your way?
He may be coming down pit road, but I want to just touch on the strategy, guys, and add to that because last year, the driver that's leading this race right now, Eric Jones, finished 3rd. He said, I know why I finished 3rd. I took 4 tires early, 2 tires late, and got outrun at the very end. So this is playing right into his hand. He and his crew chief, the number 15 of Eric Jones, and Bobby Gerhardt now stopped on the backstretch. I'm listening to his team communication. There was some confusion whether he wanted to come down pit road or not, and now the car has stopped on the backstretch. But Jones is running this race the way he wanted last year. He thought a lot about it. He said, I ran really well on old tires, so look for the 15 to stay out for quite a while and try to go to the very end, according to what he told me before the race. He wants to pit late for those fresh 4 Hoosier tires at the end of the race. So the 15, Eric Jones is having a race that he wants to run right now out front.
Well, as we see Bobby Gerhardt getting past now, he passed the pace car. When he spun out, the leader passed him. You have to maintain speed. So he will be the first car 1 lap down.
So Bobby Gerhardt in the Lucas Oil 5. Probably when pit road opens, he will come to pit road and take at least 2 tires and give himself an opportunity, perhaps, to get back on the lead lap at some point tonight. Eric Jones will be your restart leader. Justin Boston will line up in 2nd spot. Kimmel, Mingus, and Mitchell, the rest of the top 5. Those have been the players so far tonight here in the Berlin ARCA 200 at Berlin Raceway. More to come on the NBC Sports Network. Safety car leads the field down the back straightaway here at Berlin Raceway, Marne, Michigan. Beautiful late summer night. Temperature today only in the about 82 degree mark. Not very humid here. Very good conditions to go racing in tonight.
Hey, this is, I see a car on there, Pure Michigan. Look at that. You can see something burning underneath the car.
Now, you and Jim Trado were mentioning could be perhaps some rubber that comes off the tires, develops some marbles, gets stuck up there on the header or the firewall, something like that, and just the extreme heat could cause that to happen. Not necessarily an issue.
Well, you know what? Where I seen that it was right about the transmission area. Bellhausen area. Maybe a clutch cylinder is leaking. But
maybe fluid and not tire rubber. Let's take another look here. You can see something burning there, definitely.
Absolutely.
At the back of the motor, right by the firewall. But Eric Jones staying out there right now.
I bet you he's got every fan on in that car. He's waving his feet. He's like, come on, man, go, shut up.
Just saw a little bit of flame come out of the back of the car that time as he came down the front straightaway. So we'll continue to keep an eye on the 15, the Racers tape machine. And here's Bobby Gerhardt in the 5 car coming up alongside. Looks like 1 lap to a restart. Jim Trado.
Real quick, it might be the header blanket, according to the crew chief, Kevin Reed, reassuring his driver, don't worry about it. Could be the header blanket, which wraps around the header to keep heat away from the engine. That may be the cause of the issue, but it appears to be out now as we're getting back to a green flag restart.
Bobby Gerhardt on the bottom of the racetrack does not come to pit road in the 5 car. Elects to stay out there again and not to lose a lap here as we're just about a lap shy of halfway. Green flag is back in the air at Berlin. And the leader continues to be Eric Jones in the 15 out of the Venturini stables. His teammate Justin Boston 2nd. 3rd spot belongs to Kimmel. The rest of the top 5 stays the same. Mason Mingus, Mason Mitchell, Austin Self is 6th. Clint King is 7th. Spencer Gallagher doing a nice job in 8th as the 15 continues to pull away.
He wants clean air just to put the fire out. And that's one of the things I'm looking, and it looks like it is. I think the air is helping him.
Bobby Gerhardt in the 5 hanging on, scored 13th, 1 lap down. Top 3 start to pull away once again. Eric Jones in the 15 doing a great job. Heard Jim Trado describe a few moments ago how Jones at age 16 ran 3rd in this race a season ago and said, hey, I learned a lot. I know what I did wrong. I know how I can win this thing. And he's applying those lessons as we watch the 55 of King and the 5 of Gerhardt.
Well, that's one of the things that these kids today, they learn so much quicker.
Yeah.
But that's great because it's fun to watch. And It'll be terrible if something does happen, but it looks like the fire went out. Obviously, a header blanket, I always thought they were flame-proof.
I was going to say, I thought the whole idea of that was to be something that could not catch fire for it. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the technology in a modern ARCA series engine, the temperatures on the headers, what is it? It's 1,500 degrees.
Oh, all of that. Yeah, that's right. I know Thermal Control Products in North Carolina builds a lot of that stuff, but their stuff won't burn.
Yeah. So perhaps something's there that maybe not quite up to the temperatures generated by one of these 800 horsepower motors.
Or had fluid on it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times these things aren't the newest products. You know, they've been used before and they get oily and probably just burn some of that oil off.
Yeah, with the extreme heat. It is fairly warm summer night here, of course, and you know, it's close quarter short track racing. You do build up a lot of heat under the hood at a short track. Not a lot of you're not going fast enough to really blow cool air up in there and cool things off.
I see the 32 car, the 32, 82, and 22. These guys are getting bunched up. The 32's rear is getting really happy. So he's going to have to watch his on throttle.
Meaning moving around quite a bit
when
the gas is applied to that race car. That's Mason Mingus in the 32. Ran up front earlier. Mason Mitchell in the blue 82. He was the pole sitter tonight, led laps early. And then Austin Wayne Self out of Texas in the Cunningham Dodge there, the 22. And this is a battle for position 4th, 5th, and 6th. Jim Trado.
Racetrack with as unique as this track is, guys. The number 22 of Austin Wayne Self came here last weekend for the ARCA CRA Super Series late model race just to get some lap times here. Preparation for Winchester before he finished second. He actually got track time in a CRA car there as well. How does that play out here? He said, it really helped me a lot not overdriving the car. The first half of that CRA race, 1 week ago, he said, I burned the car up. I've learned now I need patience. And he's showing patience here, racing with another teenager, Mason Mitchell, just ahead of him in that blue 82.
Yeah, that's right. We've seen that 82 go out like a jackrabbit at the beginning of this race. Now everybody's coming back to him.
Watching Mingus in the 32. The Wintron entry. There's your leader, the 15 of Eric Jones, all by himself. The SRI machine out of the Venturini stables, working out a 1.1 second lead right now over his teammate Justin Boston in the Zaloop 25. Again, this battle, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th. Mingus, Mitchell, and Self all engaged in the fight as they lap by Darrell Basham's car one more time, the 34. Kimmel is 3rd in the Ansel Menard's 44, putting pressure now on Justin Boston up between 3 and 4 for second spot.
He's all over the back bumper. And you know what? Frank's very patient man. But when you could run behind somebody and push them, your patience kind of runs out and you want to get by them.
Well, and again, that's part of the game that gets played on short track races. I think, you know, if you're a Saturday night racer and you're running a 30-lap feature, you can't wait. That's over in 10 minutes.
Yes.
This is an hour and a half, 2-hour race, and you've got to pick your spots to be successful.
And what you do, you size the guy up. Frank's a lot quicker. Right there in the middle of 3 and 4, you can see him roll right up to his back bumper. He gets right to him, right through there. But you have to, you have to manage your exit speed. You got to find a groove to get by him. If the 25 makes a small mistake, Frank's going to go right by him on the inside.
That is the fight for second. We got to look earlier at the gap between the leader in the 15, Jones, and then Boston and Kimmel fighting it out for second. Almost a full straightaway advantage for Eric Jones right now, and the lead now up to 1.7 seconds last time by. So Eric Jones with clear racetrack in front of him, laying down some terrific laps.
Wait a second. I don't think this place has a straightaway.
Well, a bowed straightaway.
Okay,
let's put it that way. The distance between the corners. Maybe that's not straight, but it's, the opposite end of the football field, if you will. Austin Wayne Self, meantime, has gotten by the 82 car and picked up 5th spot. Oh, a little contact. Self dirt tracks it out of 4. Mitchell in the 82 wants to come right back at him and claim that position.
Well, you know what? We didn't see what happened in the lap before that when the 22 got by the 82.
Yeah.
So that might have been just a, hey, pal, I can do it too.
And you're at that point where if you took 2 tires, maybe the grip level isn't that high either coming off turn 4.
No, that's right. I think everybody took 2. I'm not sure anybody took 4 that first time. So they're all probably on equal tires.
Watching the fight for position here. Austin Wayne Self in the Cunningham Dodge, the 22 car, running in 5th. Mason Mitchell now in the Happy Cheeks 82, dropping back to 6th position. This is for second. Kimmel in the 44 on the bottom, trying to elbow his way by Justin Boston for the second spot. Boston moves up high and opens the door, and Kimmel takes over second.
Okay, we're going to see where Frank has. He's going to be nice and smooth, and he's going to run down that 15 car.
All right, Randy LaJoie, you're looking up at the lap board. You're saying, okay, I'm in the second half of this one, 83 to go now. Is this where you really let it all hang out, or do you play a little patient game for a while?
Not yet. You still got 75 laps before you say, okay, you want to keep them in your sight. You definitely don't want them to get away. But once the 15 gets into traffic, I think Frank's going to close up on him. And then we'll, if they catch a caution, otherwise these guys are probably going to have to pit.
Milka Duno in the 35, one of the Venturini machines, scored 16th, a couple of laps down. The race leader, Eric Jones, in the 15. Her teammate will whistle by on the high side and put her another lap down. Gerhardt in the 5, meantime, right there as well, 14th, and he is 1 lap down at this point. Still hasn't pitted for tires. Here's Kimmel up behind another lapped machine, the 64 car. That's Justin Hobson on the bottom of the racetrack. Their rookie contender, a part of the Scott's Rookie of the Year program in ARCA. Kimmel will sling to the bottom. Gets back to second a couple of laps ago, and now has started to put a gap on Justin Boston.
Well, one of the things we've seen with Frank right there, he had to be real patient going through 1 and 2. It's when you catch these lap cars and how you catch them. We just seen the 15 car get 10 car lengths on him because he got jammed up and he didn't catch the lap cars in the right spot.
Meantime, Mason Mingus starting to get going in the dial 811 before you dig entry. That's the Wintron car. He is back up. He picked up a spot, got back up into the top 3. As Kimmel works by lap traffic, this may give Mingus an opportunity to get up and knock on Kimmel's back door one more time.
Well, you know, he's just waiting to get up there to the 44 again. That usually helps you a couple tenths a lap.
Mingus starting to reel in the 44. This is for second and third. Milka Duno there in the 35 going a lap down to these 2 cars. Mingus close enough now to make things interesting for Kimmel. Puts the bumper to him a little bit. Kimmel hangs onto the wheel and is able to maintain the position on the backside.
He's going to make Frank run a little bit harder than he really wants to and abuse his car up a little bit. But if you're in Frank's case, it's better than getting turned around.
Kimmel, the points leader by more than 200 markers coming in tonight over Mingus, who is second in the championship at that 32. If Mingus has an opportunity to take the title this year away from Kimmel, he's got to get busy and have some better finishes and some race wins pretty darn soon. We're in the final third of this 2013 campaign for the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. Now Gerhardt, he'll move to the high side to lap by the 97. This will open the door momentarily for Mingus in the 32. The 97 and the 5, both lap vehicles here. Kimmel patiently will work his way by Gerhardt. Mingus there. That could upset the apple cart for Kimmel out of turn 4, but he doesn't do it.
No, there's some of these guys, you know what, the veterans know the guys are lapping, but when you come up on some of these cars, they're almost like they're moving chicanes, you know?
Yeah.
So it looks like the 5 car might have just had the 32 car about off the backstretch.
Bobby Gerhardt saying, hey, maybe the last time by you didn't give me enough room.
Correct.
Kimmel, meantime, continues to run in second spot. What about the 15 of Eric Jones? Well, Jones just got by the 40 to put him another lap down. So Jones continues to put great laps on the board. He's got a 3-second lead at Berlin Raceway. Crew chief starting to think about this now. Most of the lead lap crew race teams have 4 tires left in their pit stalls to make one more tire change tonight here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Alongside Randy LaJoie, I'm Rick Benjamin. Jim Trado is down on pit road for us this evening, watching Eric Jones in Bill Venturini's 15 car, putting a terrific drive together tonight as he continues to build the lead over Frank Kimmel, now 3.5 seconds. Meantime, Austin Wayne Self in the 22 and Mason Mitchell in the 82 continue to fight for fourth. Darrell Basham with a problem down at the inside. The Henryville, Indiana native will take the 34 to pit road for perhaps the final time tonight. This battle for fourth has been a good one, Randy.
Yes, they have. They're about equal cars. So both of them are managing their tires, trying to say, okay, I don't have a whole lot left. It looks like the 82 is a little bit better on one corner. 22 is better than the others. So it's track position. Obviously, they're moving each other, and they're having fun right now. That's one good thing about Saturday night short track racing. These guys they're more than smiling in these race cars because it's fun.
Self's a teenager. Mason Mitchell, 21. Meantime, on the backside for second spot, Mingus has caught Kimmel once again. The 40 lap vehicle will move high and let them go by. Kimmel down to the bottom of the racetrack. All of this for second spot here tonight at Berlin Raceway.
This is going to be interesting. We're going to stay on this because the 32, he definitely wants to get by Frank. But okay, we're
they split Thomas Prater in the 2 car. Kimmel on the high side adds to the lead quickly in this fight for second spot over Mason Mingus there at the preferred line on the outside, and Kimmel builds that advantage back up to a couple of car lengths.
I don't believe, Rick, if this thing stays green, I think the guys that have tires, they're not coming to pit road again.
Really?
I
think they'll go all the way.
If this stays green, yes. You won't have enough time to get, because you're going to lose 3-4 laps.
Unless you're far enough back that you think I got nothing to lose but to go and put the 4 on and see if I can pick up a tenth a lap and maybe make it work over the last 50 laps. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We've had 3 cautions tonight so far. Mason Mitchell in the 82, meantime, reeling Austin Wayne Self back in. This is the fight for 5th over on the backside.
When these guys catch lap cars, it's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
We just missed it. They were 3 wide to 22. Yeah. The 82 got around to 22. The 22 got back around the 82.
If you're the guy chasing someone and you get to a lap car and you got to make that decision quickly, I mean, if you don't make the right call, you can end up in the wall in a heartbeat.
Oh, yes. It's like going into a toll booth. You go rolling, you always pick the wrong lane.
Meantime, up front, it is still the 15 of Eric Jones. Good lead for Jones. He's done a great job here tonight in that Bill Venturini machine. Eric Jones, a nearby Michigan native at age 17, adding to the lead. That shows you the gap between the first and second place cars. Kimmel will put the 64 another lap down here shortly. He's got Mason Mingus in that black 32 right with him. This is for second and third now. The 64 not a player. That's a lapped race car. But almost a half a track now, the gap between Jones in the 15 and Kimmel in the 44.
When you're leading and your guys are telling you, hey, you know, the 44 and the 32 are fighting for position, and you already knew that the 44 spun the 32 out as it gets real close right here, you love to hear that because he can run smooth. These guys are racing here, 44 and 32.
This is for second spot.
Yeah.
And the 32 of Mason Mingus gets by Kimmel momentarily on the bottom at 4. And we'll see if Mingus can close the deal with a slide job, and he does. So Mason Mingus gets second spot away from the veteran Frank Kimmel.
We'll see if he'll be able to open up a little bit. And Frank probably said, you know what? I ran a lot harder than I really wanted to. So we're just going to keep these guys in our sights.
All of this taking place about a half a track behind the race leader, Eric Jones, in car number 15. So the fight for second didn't last very long. Kimmel evidently holding up Mason Mingus. Now, if you were with us at Winchester Speedway a couple of weeks ago in Indiana, much different racetrack, half-mile high-banked higher speed racetrack. This is the battle between the 22 and the 82 for fourth. Austin Self in the Dodge, the 22. Mason Mitchell in the 82, the Happy Cheeks car. Fourth and fifth there, a couple of car lengths separate them. And the yellow waves, we've got a caution flag out on the speedway. Trouble with Bobby Gerhardt, it looks like, again over on the backside. Gerhardt may have gone around. This will bunch things up, and now with 58 to go, what do? Do you come for your 4 tires now?
Absolutely. I think everybody, pit road, Jim, you better get busy because they're coming.
Pit road not yet open, Jim Trado, but business should pick up your way pretty darn soon.
It was an easy call for the make for the number 44 crew chief Jared Prince on Frank Kimmel's car. Again, we're splitting this race into thirds. They went the first third, got a caution about lap 70. We're now lap 143. This is the 4-tire money stop here at Berlin Raceway. All the leaders are now getting poised in positions. The air guns are going off. Again, this pit road could be critical. They've got to merge back at the end of pit road to get to the pit exit lane. This will be a race not only to their stall, but also back in position. We saw Frank Kimmel lose a position on pit road on a 2-tire stop. He has 3 members of the 88 truck team and 3 of his own guys in the shop here on the pit crew. So it's kind of mixed together as Frank has the ThorSport Racing teammates, whether it be Matt Crafton or Johnny Sauter's team. They come to help change tires. Well, not today at Berlin Raceway, just 3 of the 88 guys. So that could be a critical moment for Frank Kimmel to try to beat the others off pit road. We also know that Roush Fenway Racing has some team members here helping pit the 99 car for the race winning team of a year ago, the Rulo brothers. Who's in the 15 pit? Well, the Venerinis have their own guys, but Eric Jones knows what he needs in this race car. He's told his crew chief Kevin Reed exactly what he wants to do. It'll be an air pressure change. All of them are coming down pit road once the pit lane opens. Again, Eric Jones, the 15 car, has led since lap number 41, taking that lead after they own the other caution here in the race. Coming down pit road now is our race leader.
Lead lap cars heading for pit road. Absolutely. Jones, the 32 of Mingus, Kimmel, the other cars in the top 5, Self and Mitchell and Justin Boston all coming down. Let's watch the 44 come to a stop.
Well, one of the things we're going to see different from the last time, I seen a lot of guys, they didn't know they're going 2 or 4. Now everybody's going to take 4. So I don't believe there's going to be any miscommunications, guys. 4 tires, make sure they're tight. Let's get off the pit road.
Adding some fuel as well to the 44. They're going right side tires now on the 15. Looks like they're having a little trouble over there with the right side.
We've seen that crinkle wall on that left front of that 15 car. That helps the car turn. When you lower the left side air pressure, helps the car stick to the bottom of the racetrack.
Kimmel is down and away, and let's see how they stop him over here. It'll be the 15 car first off pit road, Jim Trado.
Left front lug nut hung up on Frank Kimmel's number 44 Anthony Bernard's Toyota. The top 10 cars on pit road. Remaining is the 99 of Josh Williams and the 77 of Hessert. 55 of Clint King. We haven't talked about that young teenager, but he's now back out onto the racetrack. Everybody taking 4 tires. We can see the work's been done. Again, the pit stalls were determined by owner points, giving Kimmel that advantage at the point, but it was the 15 car who came in near third in the owner's point standings with a better stop and resumes the lead out front.
So Eric Jones will have the restart pole. Cars that are a lap down now coming to pit road. Lap down or more getting their opportunity to pit for tires with 55 to go. There's the 99 car. Did a really nice job tonight. Josh Williams in the Allegiant Air Ford. That's one of the other Rulo brothers cars with that Allegiant sponsorship.
The car won the race last year here. So, you know what? The Rulo brothers have been in this series a long time. They are one of the premier teams. And Josh has done a great job.
No question about that out of Port Charlotte, Florida. So Eric Jones will be the restart leader. Mason Mingus off pit road second. Justin Boston third. Kimmel and Mason Mitchell will be the top 5. And when we come back, there will be closing in on 50 laps to go tonight at Berlin Raceway. The ARCA Racing Series returns in a moment. Back at Berlin Raceway, Marne, Michigan. Take a look at the Scott's Rookie Challenge leaders now with about 50 laps to go tonight. Top running rookies Mason Mingus in the 32 car will restart second. Justin Boston in this Loop Toyota will line up third for the restart, and then Thomas Prater in the 2 car a little further back, shown 18th, a couple of laps down here tonight. The top 3 right now in our Scott's Rookie Challenge, part of the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. Getting set for a restart here. Lead lap cars, everyone had saved their 4-tire change for this point of the race. Caution waving with about 50 to go here tonight. So this gives Eric Jones in the 15 an opportunity. See what he can do with 4 fresh tires. If you're Mason Mingus, Justin Boston, Frank Kimmel, you're thinking, man, I better get it done now.
This is what you got, boys. You better tighten them up, and you got 50 laps to get it done.
Waiting for the green flag. Safety car in Milcaduno on the bottom, slow through the gearbox. That gives Eric Jones an opportunity to sprint away. Mingus right with him, though, in second spot. Third belongs to Boston. Fourth is Kimmel as they hit the backstretch.
It'll take a couple laps for air pressures to come up. And then, guys, they're going to know what they have.
Eric Jones had built a 3.5-second lead before that caution flag waved for Bobby Gerhardt in the 5 car. Jones building about a 4-car length advantage now over Mingus as they come off turn 2.
Well, they're maintaining about the same distance. That 32 car, like it says, that's a previous winner here that has ties to the Turner Scott organization. Kevin Sawinski does a wonderful job with the Wintron group, and we're going to see a battle here soon, I think, for the lead.
Eric Jones continues to lead. He's led more than 100 laps tonight in that 15 car of our 200. 50 to go. Final quarter of this race about to unfold. We told you at the top of the broadcast how Frank Kimmel in the 44, the Ansel Menards machine, had an opportunity to write a major chapter in ARCA Racing Series history tonight. If he can get to victory lane, it will be his 80th career win in the series, an all-time record. He's tied for the all-time mark now with 79 wins. The great Iggy Katona, 6-time series champion, had 79 victories. His career ending back in the 70s in this series. Frank Kimmel has made hay in recent years, of course, in the series, gunning for his 10th championship. He's got a 205-point lead coming in here tonight. Mason Mingus in front of him might cash in and pick up a few points on Kimmel tonight as he gets behind Justin Boston in the 25. This is the fight for third.
I think the 82 is just kind of lurking. He's like, okay, 44 and 25 has been battling before the pit stops. Now they're battling again. I'm not sure if Frank's going to be as patient with the 25 this time.
Well, you know, tick-tock, time's running short.
Yes, it is.
If you're going to get the job done, you better get up on the horse and get going here. Down into turn 1 now. Kimmel sitting there in 4th position. He's been as high as 2nd spot tonight several times. Hasn't really been able to get a sniff of the lead as he tries to chase down Boston using that bottom group. Boston unable to keep the 25 car at the bottom.
Well, you know what? When you're driving and you're like, okay, they tell you, the spotter says, hey, inside, and you've already got your car on the bottom of the racetrack. You're like, where's this guy? How do you know where's he inside? And as Frank is, he's under the yellow line.
So Frank Kimmel in the 44 pressing Justin Boston. Mason Mitchell back there in the 82, the new track record holder and our pole sitter tonight, led the early laps. 3-way battle there, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in play as the laps start to wind down here at Berlin. Kimmel emerges with the position. He's back to 3rd now.
82 pole sitter. He's like, hey, I want to get up to the front. I want to play up front here, guys.
Meantime, the problem for these cars, well, Eric Jones in the 15 continues to put some great laps down. However, Mason Mingus hanging right with him. Kimmel will move to the outside of Prater in the 2 car, so Kimmel puts Prater another lap down. The battle for the lead starting to take shape at the other end of the racetrack as Kimmel clears the lap car and opens up the advantage now on Justin Boston. Frank Kimmel seems to be laying down some pretty good laps, Randy LaJoie, but it may be too little too late. Mason Mingus perhaps, though, thinking, hey, these 4 tires gives me an opportunity.
Yeah, but both him and Jones, hopefully they're not, you know, they still had 50 laps to go when they went green. did they go out and you know, use 2/10 a lap a little too much? Fixing to find out, 'cause that 32 car is keeping the 15 honest.
Eric Jones in the 15 has led since lap 41 here tonight. We've got 41 laps remaining, so he's led about 120 laps. Mason Mingus in the 32 has not yet led a lap tonight, but he's not given up by any means, and now Jones will put the 40 another lap behind.
And that's one of the things, when you're leading the race, you do have a benefit of the you know, pass move over flag.
Yeah.
So that should help Eric when he catches cars. But, you know, some of them, they don't know if there's a flag out there or where there's the lines on the racetrack.
We've talked a lot tonight about these young drivers. Eric Jones, perhaps the storyline so far at age 17. You've got several of them. Justin Boston, a young man himself. Mason Mitchell, Mason Mingus, Austin Wayne Self is 17. The transition from late model stock cars. Jim Trado talked about Austin Self coming here a week ago to run a CRA late model race and get a feel for this racetrack. But a late model stock car and these cars couldn't be more different, could they?
Well, about 400 horsepower. You know, anytime you get track time at a facility you don't go, this is a difficult racetrack. You know, all four corners are different. So he came here just to get some seat time. Anytime, even though your horsepower is not the same, track time definitely matters.
Eric Jones continues to set the pace. The advantage 1.3 seconds. He was able to pick Mason Mingus off behind a lap car now and stretch it out. Mingus had closed in nicely, but now it's Jones all by himself. 36 to go at Berlin Raceway. Welcome back to Berlin Raceway, the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. The Berlin ARCA 200 tonight with Randy LaJoie. I'm Rick Benjamin. Jim Trado with our coverage on pit road. Getting down to business time now with 166 laps complete, 34 remaining. Eric Jones was in some trouble, it appeared, earlier, but Mason Mingus has given up a lot of ground to him now. Meantime, we check in on the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Justin Boston in this loop car. The 25 is 4th. The 22 of Austin Wayne Self is 5th. And then you've got Mason Mitchell, the pole sitter, back there in 6th.
These guys have been all over the racetrack. They come up on lap cars. They go high. They go low. They're going through pit road. I mean, it's pretty cool to watch these three guys.
Justin Boston, very impressive tonight in this loop car. He's sitting, in terms of the championship at the moment, he's in 4th. Doing a very nice job as Frank Kimmel continues to lead as they run by 200 points over Mason Mingus. Kimmel at the moment 3rd on the racetrack. Mingus is 2nd, so Mingus would pick up a couple of points tonight on the veteran Kimmel in the Ansel Menards 44.
One of the things I noticed, the 15 car is getting a little tail happy. He's getting a little happy footed, you know, and he's going to have to watch that because that 32 car is not far behind him.
Now, as we mentioned a couple of times tonight, and Randy, talk about this just a little bit. You say happy-footed. These cars have so much power. If you're on the gas too hard too quickly, you can spin easily.
Oh, you spin the rear tires. And you think you're going fast, but you're really hurting yourself 10 laps down the road because you're really making the rear tires 10, 15, 20 degrees hotter than they really need to be.
As we watch the 5 of Gerhardt, the 15 of the race leader, Eric Jones. Mason Mingus now starting to reel him back in a little bit. Mingus gave up a lot of track position due to lap traffic earlier. But the 5 of Gerhardt puts up no fight at all. Jones out of turn 4. Mingus starting to reel him back in again. It's down to 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, I'm sure the spotter's saying, hey, get back in your rhythm. Smooth on the throttle. Don't spin those rear tires. And that's something that, man, it's 32's catching them.
Inside 30 laps to go tonight. Can Eric Jones close the deal? Took the lead on lap 41. Has led through a couple of rounds of pit stops. Great pit work by the Venturini Motorsports team. Lap car, the 40 gives him room. That's Justin Lloyd running 14th with many laps down to the leaders. Mingus in the 32 car. Starting to eat into that lead just a little bit further. We'll get the gap for you here as they come off of turn 4. And this time, the advantage 6.5, so make it 0.65 seconds. Jones over Mingus. So Jones stretched it out a little bit that time.
We know that car is hot. We've seen it on fire before.
Yeah.
That's something, you know, this thing, if he wins this thing, it'll be pretty trick because that thing was definitely burning.
Third spot belongs to Kimmel. Frank 3.8 seconds back, and Frank Kimmel's going to win his 80th career ARCA Series event tonight. He's going to need a break or 2 or 3. He's just too far behind to be a player in this thing at this point. Jim Trado.
Well, guys, when your car's running good, you know it's running good. The number 15 car of Eric Jones, I just asked this crew chief a few laps ago, on that pit stop, other than 4 tires, what did you change? He said, nothing. Same story for the 32 of Mason Mingus. They're very happy with this car. They call him Mad Max. He nearly won wind Winchester, Saturday on the pole at Mobile as well. Mingus trying to get some points. They're keeping him aggressive on the radio, saying, go after it, go after it, go after it. So as those two youngsters up front are racing, Frank Kimmel's also racing in that third spot for the car that was a bit tight in the center. They made some left side chassis and air pressure adjustment on Frank Kimmel's car. We'll see if that can come to life here in the closing laps.
It doesn't look like it has.
No, well, I mean, he's okay, but he's not as good as a 15 and 32.
You're not going to win here tonight if you're just okay. As great a driver as Frank Kimmel has been for such a long period of time in the ARCA Racing Series, okay tonight at Berlin will not blunt the charge of Eric Jones, who has been dominant tonight in that 15.
And the 32's keeping him honest. He's coming up and get your rhythm, hit your marks, be smooth. Figure out how you're going to pass the guy when you get to him, so don't interrupt you're watching the next car out to see, okay, I'm better than him here. I got to pay attention, because if you lose a quarter of a second, you're losing 2 spots.
Coming up on 20 laps to go, and the lead starting to diminish. Half a second that time. Mason Mingus in that lap 32, the call 811 before you dig entry. About 6 car lengths behind Eric Jones in the 15.
Now I think, there's 20 to go, guys. There ain't no more saving tires.
Yeah.
It's everything you got. Let's go.
Down the front straightaway into turn 1. Jones continues to hold the advantage. Clean racetrack in front of the 2 contenders now as they continue to pull away from Frank Kimmel. Kimmel 4 seconds off the lead. His opportunity to win tonight appears gone. When we come back, we'll take you all the way to the checkered flag at Berlin Raceway. Back at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan on the NBC Sports Network. Coverage of the Primera Plastics 200 tonight. The ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. Late stages of this one, Eric Jones has been the dominant player in the Venturi Motorsports SRI Toyota. That's the 15. Frank Kimmel, meantime, tried to win his 80th career race. Sits third. He has been a contender. He's been as high as second tonight, but he's about 4.5 seconds off the lead as we get inside 20 laps to go tonight. Lead battle is the storyline here. 0.7 of a second, the gap between the 15 of race leader Eric Jones, the 32 of the chaser Mason Mingus in the Wintron Toyota. Mingus has been there a couple of times tonight. How frustrating is that, Randy? You know you're really good, you just don't quite have enough.
You know you're second best, and he's going to need some help. But what I do see, these guys are catching 8th and 9th. We're getting some traffic here. There's going to be 32 cars going to have a chance in traffic.
See what happens. Only 6 cars remain on the lead lap tonight here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Packed house, by the way. Certainly want to salute the racetrack and the ARCA Racing Series officials. Great place to come and watch short track racing. This place was packed tonight. I mean, they were lined up 75 deep to buy tickets to come and see the ARCA Racing Series outside here tonight as we were having our final couple of production conversations before we came on the air this evening. And I just want to thank the racetrack for just a great show here tonight and doing a wonderful job to host the ARCA Racing Series. There's the 32 of Mason Mingus, your second place car. About 0.9 of a second back now, so Jones starting to stretch it back out again as we close in on 10 to go.
Yeah, that's right. Jones has been the fastest car. He's been the smoothest driver. Once he got his head back, he's okay. Let me just calm down. Let me keep this thing straight. The guys, they tell me the car was on fire. It's not on fire. He don't know what's going on, but he knows he's got a fast hot rod, and he just needs to keep it smooth.
Whatever else you can say about what we've seen from Eric Jones tonight, to me the most impressive thing, Randy LaJoie, is every time someone has applied pressure to him, he hasn't wilted. He's kept his wits about him. He's made all the right moves. He's worked lap traffic like a guy who's been doing this for 30 years, not 30 months.
No, yeah, correct. And now he's coming up on 8th and 9th. I mean, right here you got Hester and Williams. You know, these guys want to stay on the lead lap. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys hold them up a little bit.
10 to go at Berlin Raceway. The 99 car of Josh Williams out of Port Charlotte, Florida. The Allegiant Air Rouleau Brothers Ford. Right in front of him, the Barbara's Auto Center 77. That's the Cunningham Dodge of Tom Hessert III. As we mentioned, Hessert third in the championship. He just has not been very quick here tonight. Guy's got a short track victory or two to his credit. Certainly a very capable wheelman. Jones, meantime, having a hard time getting by the 99 and the 77.
Well, these guys are running 8th and 9th. You know, Jones is going to get it. And 99's okay. You know, he's like, okay. Your spotter's like, hey, that's the leader, man. Cut him some slack. You know, at the end of the day, you know it's not your day. If you're 9th getting lapped, it could come back around sooner or later.
So Jones gets by the 99 car. Now he'll work on the 77 of Tom Hessert III, the 40 there as well. Mason Mingus, though, unable to take advantage of this. I thought Mingus might be able to seize the opportunity here and close back in the waning laps, but last time by, 0.9 of a second. He's not able to make any hay.
Well, you see the 99, he's figuring, you know what? When the 15 passes the 77, that's a spot. I want it too. So the 99 is not worried about the 32. He wants a spot, and he's a 77.
Eric Jones in the 15 trying to close the deal tonight here at Berlin Raceway. We've had a 17-year-old race winner earlier this season in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. It was Chase Elliott, $1 Million Bill's son at Pocono. He's a Hendrick Motorsports development driver, and Eric Jones hoping to turn the trick once more here tonight at Berlin Raceway as he works his way by. They get by the 69 lap car, one of the Kimmel Racing entries, Bill Kimmel's car. And Jones on the backside of the racetrack now, still unable to get by the 77 of Hessert. The good news for Eric Jones is the 99 of Williams also holding back Mingus. Frank Kimmel, meantime, in the 44, moving up on the 40 car. Trouble on the front side. Bill Catania and another vehicle lock horns and go down through and raise a lot of dust here on the front straightaway. We stay green, though, with 4 laps to go tonight. And there is Eric Jones. He's gotten by the 35 of Duno to put her another lap down. The 99 hanging right there with him. Kimmel unable to capitalize in third. He's still 4.3 seconds behind the race leader with just a handful of laps to go. And Eric Jones over on the backside. You know, when you're 17 years old, Randy LaJoie, I think maybe this doesn't bother you. Maybe the pressure's nothing to him.
I couldn't tell you. That was a long time ago. You know, there's a lot of motion in the car. You know, he knows there's 2 laps to go. And he knows there's a guy right on his tail. He'll probably let him go because if the guy gets up there, you know, hey, you know, we got 10 car lengths back to the second place car. Maybe we'll just ride here, stay out of trouble. And the motion's definitely here. There's a lot of fans here.
No pressure at all from Mason Mingus. White flag waving over race leader Eric Jones. One more trip around this .43 mile oval here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Place started as a dirt track some 6 decades ago, paved in the 1960s, and it's been hosting ARCA Series racing for 25 seasons. Eric Jones off turn 4, Michigan native at age 17, wins his first race in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards for Venturini Motorsports. Eric Jones is your winner. Mason Mingus runs second. Frank Kimmel will stay at 79 victories. He comes home in third. Austin Wayne Self out of Texas is fourth, and fifth to the pole sitter Mason Mitchell. Justin Boston, who ran in the top 3 earlier, gets credit for 6th. So Eric Jones in car number 15 will roll to victory lane tonight here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Mingus is disappointed once again. Kimmel will have to wait another week to try for victory number 80. That could come next week on the dirt at Springfield, Illinois.
You know what? Short track racing, ARCA style, Saturday night. Great racing, great fun to watch. Glad to be here.
Frank Kimmel gets a top 3 out of it anyway. A great points night for Kimmel, who's the championship leader by a wide margin as he guns for what would be his all-time record 10th series title later this year in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. Frank Kimmel sitting in the car in the 44. We'll hear from him, I'm sure, a little bit later here this evening. Race winner Eric Jones coming around in the SRI 15 car, and he will celebrate in victory lane in just a moment. And Jim Trado will talk to our winner. Eric Jones will spin the 15, put on a little show here for the home state fans in Michigan. So Eric Jones taking the opportunity to grab the lead with 41 laps on the board. He leads the rest of the way home tonight. 159 laps led for Eric Jones. A dominant run to victory in the ARCA Racing Series. We'll talk to the winner when we come back. Welcome back to Berlin Raceway, Marne, Michigan. The ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards on the NBC Sports Network. A dominant run to victory tonight for young Eric Jones, who's a Michigan native at age 17. Leads more than 150 laps tonight to take that Venturini Motorsports entry to victory lane. Congratulations being passed along. That's Billy Venturini, Bill's son, who is the team manager and crew chief, as Eric Jones unsnaps the helmet in victory lane, and we'll get ready to climb out of the 15 car. Randy LaJoie, you've got to take your hat off to this young man. We heard the story earlier how he ran third here in this race a year ago, and when all was said and done, he said, hey, I know how we got beat. I'm not going to have that happen again this time around.
And he's not, you know, that team got beat last year, and that team wasn't going to get beat this year, even though the thing caught fire.
So Eric Jones hops out of the race car. He'll get the celebratory spray of water. No champagne. He's only 17 years of age, but a very happy race team. And Eric Jones, a very, very happy winner. Jim Trado.
Home track victory indeed for Eric Jones. He indeed is here in victory lane. I've got to tell you what, I know how much of a disappointment it was by leading that race last week with 6 miles to go. How sweet is this one in your home state, Eric?
This one means a lot to me. It's coming to Berlin. This is a track I've had some troubles at, had some good cars, had some good, bad cars. Coming here in the ARCA Series with Kevin Reed, Venturini Motorsports, stock car racing steel, just an immaculate race. Just perfect car all day long. Ran hard that last 50 laps. Glad it ended when it did. We started getting tight in the center there, but ran it really hard, and there's definitely why I got tight. But just amazing day. So many friends and family here to come out and watch, and can't thank my mom and dad enough for all they've done for me, and just really means a lot to finally get that ARCA victory.
You went through the paces earlier in the day. You said, I know what I did wrong last year. Talk about how right it was tonight.
It was definitely right tonight. We made the right adjustments all day long in practice and got it really good. And, we were able to come out here and run our pace, and I think we took the lead on lap 30 or something, and just set our own pace all night, and just a great night for us, just amazing. Couldn't have gone any better.
And this is the celebratory kiss on the lips from Andy Granatelli's favorite man in the world, Bill Venturini. He's made this her tradition. Any of the Venturini drivers win, they got a big smooch right on the kisser. You earned it tonight, Eric. Congratulations.
Thank you.
They're celebrating here tonight for the Venturini bunch.
So congratulations to Eric Jones. Great job here tonight. The Venturini Motorsports team obviously very, very happy with their young driver and what he was able to accomplish here tonight at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. His first career win at essentially a hometown racetrack. And Randy, you won a lot of races near where you grew up in Connecticut. That means a lot, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Because all the family and friends, they could tell you that they watch you, but until they're here doing it, that's what makes it special. It was pretty cool to see. I think 6 out of the top 10 were teenagers.
Unbelievable statistic. One of the great things about the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. Time now for our Replay XD recap. I'll take you through some of the high points of tonight's event, the Primera Plastics 200 here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Start earlier tonight. Mason Mitchell had set a new track record in qualifying in the 82 car, and he was your early leader this evening over Eric Jones. Mitchell opening up the lead of 15 to 20 car lengths in the first couple of dozen laps. Mason Mingus lapping by Thomas Prater here. He was a contender all night long in the Wintron 32. Eric Jones and Mingus side by side for position, and Eric Jones would take the measure of Mason Mingus. Mingus in the 32 and the series points leader Frank Kimmel got together over in turn 3. Mingus went around. He would pay back the favor a little later. Eric Jones, his 40 laps went up on the board in the 15 car to the bottom. Got by Mason Mitchell, and that was pretty much it. Kimmel trying to battle back. Here he and Justin Boston waged a great fight for position. Kimmel would end up in third spot. A couple of spins. The 40 car goes around. The 15 of Jones may have helped him just a little. And we had problems for Jones, too, during the course of the evening. There was apparently some rubber or a header blanket that caught fire under the hood briefly. Didn't cause too much of a problem. Frank Kimmel getting by Justin Boston late. These were part of the top 5 fights all night long. Mason Mingus, working his way by the 35. Kimmel able to hold him off right here. Justin Boston and Kimmel getting together along with Mingus late in the race. Kimmel able to keep it straight, keep it off the wall. Eric Jones was able to maintain the advantage and roll to victory tonight here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Jones celebrating by doing donuts on the front straightaway, burning down the tires and the motor. And Eric Jones celebrating tonight with us here at Berlin Raceway. Runner-up tonight was Mason Mingus. He's standing by with Jim Trada.
Definitely in the middle of the story all night, Mason. Talk about your race. You were very fast, but just a little bit short.
Yeah, I think we had a really good car, and I think, on old tires, we were struggling a little bit. We were really loose, and I was just cranking a ton of front brake to it, and coming in and putting new tires on, and I didn't take that front brake back out of it, and I was just really, really tight at the end of that race, and, I think that hurt us. I think we had a really good car. I think we had a car to win this race on the long runs. Had it not been for that mess up there at the end, on my part. But, the guys gave me a really good race car, and got to thank our sponsors, Call 811 Before You Dig and Dynamo Equipment. They did a great job, and 811 came out and supported us really big here. And so it's great to have them on board. And, I wish we could have got it to victory lane. We've been so fast on all the short tracks and just haven't been able to catch a break. And I thought tonight was going to be our night, but I definitely learned from that little bit of a mistake, and I think we'll be really good coming into Springfield, but Madison with this race car.
How about the incident that may have changed the face of your race when you got spun around racing for position in the top 5 with Frank Kimmel?
Yeah, that wasn't very good on his part, I don't think. I talked to him about it, but he definitely didn't give us a break there, and I think he got into us, but it was tough racing, short track racing. That's the way it goes at this racetrack. So, we'll move on. I don't think it really cost us anything in the end. I think we would have been sitting right here. We definitely could have won it, even with that, I think.
The thoughts of 18-year-old Mason Mingus recovering for second tonight.
All right, thank you, Jim Trado. That is the Replay XD recap. Replay XD, the official in-car camera sponsor of the ARCA Racing Series. Replay XD, life's in HD, so replay it. More to come from Berlin Raceway. Our coverage of the ARCA Racing Series on the NBC Sports Network tonight has been brought to you by Scott Brand. Scott Prep, the cleanup solution for contractors, do-it-yourselfers, and moms. All available at Menards. By Replay XD. Life's in HD. Replay it. And by Allegiant. Save with the best travel deals under the sun only at Allegiant.com. Well, the night's action complete here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan, just outside Grand Rapids. And Jim Trado standing by with a race-winning crew chief.
Winning driver Eric Jones had it right on the racetrack. Well, it got here pretty close to being right because of crew chief Kevin Reed and your efforts, Kevin. Talk us through this victory for you and the 15 team, putting it together to win here at Berlin.
These Venturini Motorsports guys have dug all year long and worked really hard. And today just went storybook. I mean, from practice through qualifying, we qualified on the outside pole, kind of a little bit upset we didn't get the pole, but we'll take the win tonight. And Eric's done an awesome job for the 3 races that he's run with us this year. We got 1 victory and should have had a couple more there, and miscue on both of us part, I guess you could say, over the last 2. But just these Venturini Motorsports guys and Bill and Kathy Venturini and Billy for giving us everything we need to work with, and just keep putting good race cars together and coming and, performing like we have. And, today we finally sealed the deal again. It's, 3 wins this year and 3 poles. It's been a pretty good year. On any given week, sometimes you have to kind of remind yourself that a few weeks ago it wasn't that bad, even though last week was pretty rough.
Kevin, talk to us about that fire under the hood. We saw it a couple times. Randy LaJoie saw it. I saw it from pit road behind the left front wheel. Did you diagnose what it was?
Well, I think we run a header shield there to kind of keep the driver's feet cooler, and for some reason I think it had some rubber buildup on it and caught on fire there in the middle of the race. Is actually a couple of different times. We was a little bit concerned with it, but it went out, so we were okay with it.
We'll let you celebrate. I know there's technical inspection ahead, but congratulations on a big win here at Berlin, Kevin.
Thank you, and thanks to Berlin Speedway for having us here.
The thoughts of Kevin Reed, the winning crew chief here tonight at Berlin Raceway.
So Eric Jones takes that 15 car that Kevin put together, goes to victory lane with it. Mason Mingus runs second in front of the champion Frank Kimmel, the 9-time series champ, current points leader. Austin Self comes on for 4th in front of Mason Mitchell, our pole sitter. Justin Boston, one of the Venturini cars, and Clint King, another one of those cars, runs 6th and 7th. And a call to Tom Hessert in the Cunningham Dodge, got himself back on the lead lap. 3rd in the championship, he comes home in the 8th spot. Maybe the most interesting incident on the track tonight involved the drivers who ran 2nd and 3rd. Frank Kimmel, Mason Mingus going at it down the backstretch into turn 3.
Well, the 32 car wanted to keep the 44 car pinned down to the bottom. Frank says, listen, I want to go. I need a racetrack. And he went.
He went, and Mingus went around, rallies to 2nd spot tonight. Let's get the thoughts of the points leader, who's with Jim.
And certainly a championship-type run for Frank Kimmel, finishing 3rd tonight. You were right in the mix of it all night, champ, but talk about how important it was to get out of here with another top 5 finish here in 2013.
Well, it was a good run for us. Just a little disappointed. I got into Mason early there, and it cost us some track position, and we just never could quite make it up. We were almost as fast as I think as the 15 most of the night, but he was the class of the field, and he showed it all night. Eric does a great job and really was fast. But I think the next 4 or 5 of us, we were all pretty close. I think I might have been a little bit better than the 32 at the end of the race, but just couldn't get there.
You've got 3 wins on the season. You know what the importance is of winning the 4th this year. You become the all-time leader.
Thanks for telling me, Jim.
You're welcome. How big is that going to be when you get there?
Well, if we get there, you just never know when the next one's coming. So, our next race is Springfield. Love that racetrack, and hopefully we'll run good there, and we'll just go and take them one at a time. Hopefully one of them will come up. We get in victory lane.
Frank Kimmel again, perfect 10 on the season, all top 10 finishes, comes home 3rd here tonight at Berlin.
Some would say that Frank Kimmel looks like a school teacher. I think he held class tonight for Mason Mingus.
Well, at least for point racing, and that's for sure. You don't win 9 of these things and as many races as he has. Like he says, he can't wait to the next one. You don't ever know if you're going to get the next one.
Sure.
But you know what? He had a couple-year drought. He come back this year. He's got 3 of them. I think we're going to see him in victory lane again.
It would seem so. Mason Mingus, though, does end up 2nd in front of Frank Kimmel. Another young driver who had a terrific night, Austin Wayne Self out of Texas, with a great run to a top 5 finish. He's with Jim.
Well, Austin Wayne Self came here last week to learn this racetrack. It seemed to pay off for you, finishing 4th here tonight. Take us through your night in the 22.
Yeah, it really helped us out. All practice today, we were really fast in the long runs, and that's not quite what we got tonight. We had a bunch of cautions, and still, yeah, we had a good car, but we didn't have a great car. We need a little more off the corner. Cunningham, those guys worked really hard, so really proud of them to be able to work hard, even though we struggled a little bit. But we really used the lap cars to our advantage tonight, and the pit guys worked hard to get us out on the track. So I'm really happy with our finish tonight, and I think we're going to be winning soon. The AMTS Cunningham Dodge is really fast.
At Winchester Speedway, we saw you crack the whip late in the race and charge to second. Were you hoping for that tonight, and were you able to with that small tire pressure change when you changed 4 tires?
Yeah, we were really hoping there was going to be a long run there at the end. On the last restart, we got stuck behind a lap car, and that really hurt us. So I think we could have gone around a couple guys early in the start, but the whole night we were good in the long run, and we just didn't get that.
The thoughts of Austin Wayne Self, again, a top 5 finish here at Berlin Raceway.
Plenty of natural talent in these ARCA Racing Series machines. Austin Wayne Self, another young gun I think we're going to see a lot of great things from in the near future. But a great night for young Eric Jones from Byron, Michigan at age 17. Takes the stock car steel ISC Racers Tape Toyota to victory here at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Next up for us, coverage of the Alan Crow Memorial 100, the ARCA Racing Series machines on the Dirt Mile down in Springfield, Illinois. You'll see it August 23rd at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Randy LaJoy, a great run tonight for young Eric Jones.
Oh, absolutely right. When you have 6 out of the 8 cars in the top 8 teenagers, how good is this sport looking?
Awesome indeed, and Eric Jones, a young driver, a fan favorite here tonight. We congratulate Eric and the Venturini team for their winning run tonight here at Berlin Raceway. For Randy LaJoy and Jim Trado and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for watching the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards on the NBC Sports Network. We'll talk to you next time.